So let's go through a nice hip training. What you're going to need for this training is you're going to need a ball, whether it's like a cork one or a lacrosse one, and a band. I have some different ones here, but just pick one that's challenging but not too hard. Yeah, so we're going to start off with just a simple hip rotation, and then we're going to make it a little bit more complicated as we go. So a hip car, we're going to start off, I'll show you from the side. We're going to rotate externally, then we're going to lift up the leg, we're going to move that to the side, and then we rotate backwards. Yeah, if this is the first time you're doing this, it's pretty tricky, and we want to prevent the lower back from joining the party, or that whenever you move your leg backwards, that you need to bend forward. So we want to keep that hip nice and isolated. So I only want to move my hip. So one thing you can do is keep your hand down, we move it up, push your pelvis down, and the moment you start to feel that the pelvis is pushing into your hand, that's where you stop the motion. There we go. Just a few repetitions to really get that motion going. And what I'm trying is to emphasize the rotation. So if I show you from the front side, so here I'm rotated externally, and I move to the side, and I'm going to rotate internally. And from there I'm going to reverse. There we go. Okay, let's switch to this other side. So we go from here, go to the side. And if you want to hold on to something, that's fine. So I'm pressing that down. I'm really trying to isolate my hip and not move my lower back. And I should start to feel this around my hip and around my bum, to really feel those muscles contract. There we go. Well, that's a basic hip car. So now let's see if we can grab a ball and put it in the back of our knee. I'm going to hold on to the bar here. And we're going to make that same rotation. So we're going to go here, go to the side. And I'm going to keep that ball squeezed over there. And as you can probably see, the motion is getting a little smaller, but it's definitely more specific. Oh, it's almost sneaking out on me. There we go. And what this is going to do is, because some people when they do this, they use their hamstring, or they're really combining their knee motion and their hip motion. With this one, we're blocking and we're locking the knee, so we really have to emphasize on the back, or on the hip, sorry. There we go. Okay, switch sides. What can sometimes also happen is that you're working on the right one, but you're actually feeling it in the left glute. What's happening then is, instead of using this hip to make the rotation, you're actually using the other one. So if you feel it in the opposite hip, make the motion a little smaller and see if you can make it more specific. So we go here, up. There we go. And this definitely feels more specific to the glute for me. And some people, they feel their hamstrings contract or cramp a little bit. That's all fine. Ooh. And if you feel it in your opposite hip, make the motion a little smaller. There we go. So at the end of this training, we're going to come back to this same exercise to see what kind of difference it made. All right. So now, come and lay on your back. And we're going to grab a band. So, I'm going to put the band around my foot. And we're going to start off with internal rotation. So, in the hip, we have internal rotation. That's that way. So, if I show you from here, this is internal rotation. So, my hip is rotating inwards. And this is external rotation. We're going to start off with internal rotation. I'm going to put my elbow here on the side. I'm going to try to keep my knee right above my hip, and I'm going to pull that band so my foot rotates as much as it can internally. And then I'm just going to hold that here. So what this is going to do, it's going to create a bit of tension here around my hip. And I'm just going to just slightly, push slightly into that band. And that's going to feel more like a stretch. So my knee stays in the same position, but I'm just trying to pull that foot out. Good. Now I'm going to press into the band a little bit more. Just slightly. Now relax and pull it a little bit further. So we're going to do a bit of a hold and stretch. So push into it slightly, and then let it go. Push into it slightly, let it go. Push into it slightly, let it go. And as I go, my knee stays in the same position, and I'm just trying to rotate from my hip. You see me put my opposite hand on top of it, so that's a nice way to keep your femur in the same position. So press in and relax, press in and relax, press in and relax. Good. So this should feel like we're getting a little bit more range of motion as we go. So now instead of having my elbow here on the floor, I'm going to pull that band, I'm going to put it tight across my knee. So what I'm going to do now is allow that band to stretch me all the way that way, and then we rotate. And then we go out again, and then we rotate. And I want to rotate externally as far as I can. And then we do it again. Good. There we go. Let's see if we can hold it at the end now. As far as you can. And this should start to really feel like you're working the muscles in your bum. Okay, 2 more reps. Gonna hold it. And you see that I'm starting to shake. That's good. That means I'm exerting myself. I'm gonna make that last one a little harder. So from there, we'll rotate. And I really feel those muscles in my bum contract. All right. So now, that same thing, but we're going to do the extra rotation. So I'm going to grab the band, I'm going to put my elbow on the floor, going to keep my knee in the same position, and then from here I'm just going to hold it. So I'm feeling a stretch. I'm going to push slightly into it and relax. Push into it and relax. Push into it and relax. And we want to feel this in your hip. We don't want you to feel this in your lower back or in your knee or anything. So push into it and relax. Push into it and relax. Push into it and relax. I'm just going to do this for a couple of minutes. And as you go, as you relax, it should start to feel that you're getting a little bit more range of motion there. I don't know about you, but it started to get a little heavy with me. So that's my cue where I go like, all right, I've done enough of that one. Now I'm going to pull that band over again. I'm going to hold it here. And now we're going to rotate the opposite direction. So I'm rotating into the rotation now. And relax. Into the rotation. And relax. So I'm going to keep my knee in that same position again. And I'm going to rotate. And it's going to feel like I'm contracting all those muscles around my hip. And really see if I can push against that band. I think I can make it a little tighter. Yep. So this should be challenging, not impossible, but definitely you should feel like, hey, you're working your hip muscles. So my quad is relaxed, my hamstrings are relaxed, and all I'm doing is rotating my hip. Okay, now let's hold. See if you can hold it. Oh man, that's hard. And relax. Let's do it again. Up. Okay, last one. All right, good. Let's go to the other side. Let me turn around. So, gonna have that hand to, or that hip to enter rotation. There we go. So let's find that end range. Knee is right above my hip. Let's just push slightly into it and relax. Push into it and relax. Push into it and relax. And we're just going to do this until you feel like, oh man, I'm really working those muscles. Like there's a little bit more range of motion. It shouldn't be super tiring, but you definitely should feel you're contracting muscles and you're working it. Good, and allow that band to stretch you a little further as you go. Push in and out. Good. Okay, so that should be kind of where we need to be. Now I'm going to pull it over my leg. I'm going to lock it here. And I'm going to rotate externally. And there. And rotate. There. And rotate. So I'm going to keep my knee in that same position, and as if there's a pin going through, I'm going to rotate and back. Rotate and back. And these type of issues and that these type of exercises are really going to help with quite a bit of different, or can help with quite a bit of different problems. So for example, hip pain, hip osteoarthritis, this kind of stuff can really help to train that hip. Okay, so let's hold it into that externally rotated position. It can also help with knee pain. It can also help with low back pain. So these are exercises to do, and they can be pretty effective. Okay, hold it here. It's getting a little harder. Okay, last one. Let's hold it. Let's hold it a little longer. Really feel those muscles burn. All right. That was the inter-rotation. Now let's go to the external-rotation. So, knee is still right above my hip. And I'm just going to hold that here. Feel that stretch a little bit. And I'm pushing slightly in and back off. In and back off. In and relax. And I'm allowing that band to pull me a little bit further into that externally rotated position. And if it's shaking, that's okay. That means you're exerting yourself and your body's just trying to figure out ways how to handle that load. There we go. All right. After it starts to burn, then I'm going to pull that band over. There we go. And I'm moving to inter-rotation, allowing that band to pull me to external rotation. And then we rotate to the other side. Good. So see if you can rotate your foot as far out as possible. Really contract those muscles. Up. Up. Good. Keep going. Really make it burn a little bit. And it's completely fine that both hips feel slightly different. Everyone's a little crooked, so that means it's fine that one hip is easier than the other one, or the other one is stronger. Okay, let's hold a couple reps. Let's hold it. Okay, I'm going to pull a little tighter. Okay. And the back, last one. Up. All right, relax. Okay. That felt like a nice workout, right? Let's grab your ball again. And let's go for those hip rotations we did in the beginning. So first with the ball. So put the ball in the back of your knee. Go there. I don't know about you guys, but my hip definitely feels nicer. And it definitely feels smoother. Like I have a little bit more extension. The rotation is easier. Okay. Let's do the other side. Good. Now if we do without the ball, there's probably going to be even a bigger difference. Okay, and if we switch around again. There we go. So, like I said before, this exercise is a great way to help with your hip mobility, and that might improve a lot of issues in your squat depth, with hip pain, with low back pain, even with knee pain. So give this one a go, and let me know how it goes. Good luck.